I called CPS on my mother and my young siblings were taken away. I 20F called CPS on my mom 34F and my siblings were unfortunately taken away. A little backstory, my mom had me very young and my father was in and out of my life. The couple years I lived with him he was very emotionally and physically abusive. My mom has struggled with addiction on and off her entire life, so our relationship has been on and off as well. Her drug of choice was usually meth. Growing up I was taken away by CPS 3 times, living with different family members all the time too. So I basically had to grow up extremely quickly. So take it back to this last June my mom got married to the father of her other 2 kids 4 meters and 2F and everything was going good. Then over the course of a few months my mom started dropping weight consistently and her face started to look sunken in. I messaged her and asked if she was using again and she denied it so I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Then this last November her husband decided to gamble all of their rent money away and started becoming really emotionally abusive towards my moms and sometimes physically abusive towards my little brother who has some behavioral issues. He had always said when he's sober that if he's gambling he's most likely doing drugs again. He then moved out at the beginning of February and I ended up moving back in with my mom to help out with the kids, help out around the house, and so she could get an overnight job to pay the bills. After about a month of attempting to help her get the house together and trying to help her get things in order she still had not put any effort into anything she said she would. I had found many things that add up to her doing drugs again including a meth pipe. She was neglecting my siblings so much, she just locked her bedroom door and stayed in her room all day. The house was a pigsty with month-old dirty dishes and dirty diapers on the ground. She hadn't bathed my brother in so many days his feet were completely black in the bottom. In the middle of February my little siblings were with their dad for the weekend at his brother's house and my brother burned his arm. My brother told me the father and all his friend were laughing at him for it. Theirs was many other things but eventually I just couldn't take it anymore. If I could I would have just taken my siblings with me but I'm not financially stable enough for it. So I ended up calling CPS and making a report. 2 days later I get a call from the CPS worker and we start talking and I open up to her with just about everything. I end up moving out right after that. A couple weeks later CPS shows up at the house and my mom refused the drug test and her husband starts getting up in the CPS worker's face. A few days later she lets me know they are perusing action to remove the kids from the home, and she let me know my mom will know I'm the one who reported her. So about 2 days later all of a sudden my phone gets blown up by my mom with about 15 long paragraphs telling me I'm never welcomed in her home again and that I have no family loyalties. I do think I have loyalties though but just to my siblings and not her. I just didn't want them to go through as much neglect and heartbreak I did growing up. Anyways, thanks for reading.